a team that I think a lot of people have kind of written off, especially after a year of plagued injuries, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. Guys, you got to think of it this way. This is a football team since 2019 that has been in 3 NFC championships and 2 Super Bowls. It's not shabby. That's not like, oh, well. These guys have been in the conversation consistently over the last 7 years, okay? And I don't think that it's fair to just write these guys off because they had a season plagued with injuries. You got George Kittle battling a shoulder injury, Achilles injury with CMC, Ayuku and Debo both battling injuries. Not sure the the extent of them. Brock Purdy's kind of having to do it all on his own, and Brock Purdy has never been painted as a guy that needs to do it on his own. I don't know why people want to act like nowadays with quarterbacks that if you can't do it on your own with the Walmart bag boy, you're not a good quarterback. Like, come on, guys. What do you want him to do? All of his guys are injured. You got young guys like my man Ricky Pearsall, who's getting crazy reps as a rookie. By the way, very excited for my man Slick Rick. I think he's going to take a huge step here in year 2. But you got Brock Purdy coming off a year in which he threw 3,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. And we're like, yeah, that's bad. With what he had? He didn't have his best running back. Dude was injured all year. Debo Samuels, Debo's going to Debo. He was injured part of the year. Kittle was battling shoulder injury. Guys, give Brock Purdy some grace. I'm not ready to write off this Niners team quite yet because I think Brock Purdy has shown you he can get you to that game and he can make you competitive in that game. Obviously, he's got to take the next step and win it. And the defense is going to be better with Robert Saleh back in San Francisco. I'm very excited for him to come back and really reshape that defense. You got Fred Warner. You got, you bring in Barron, who I think is going to be an incredible addition to the secondary. You got Travarius Ward, all these guys. But in your opinion, John, I know you're a Niners fan, so kind of give us an insight. What is all this talk about the Niners window closing?
Well, I think the first thing is for any team on the beginning of a new year, I don't think any window is closed for any team at the very beginning of a year, right? So everyone has the same fair chance. Granted, there are teams that have better players, a better roster, better coaching, healthier stat line, so forth, right? More to play for, right? It also does matter in the division that you're playing in, because if you have 4 playoff contending teams like the NFC North or even now the AFC West, it's going to be harder to get to that playoff game or the Super Bowl, right?
100%.
I don't think the window is closed for the 49ers. I do think that the Rams are a little bit stronger in the NFC West. I don't think the Cardinals are there, and I definitely don't think the Seattle Seahawks are there. I think there's a lot of uncertainties in the West right now. But with the 49ers, I think with the veterans they have on their team and them being as healthy as they are coming into the season and the rookies that they can help put under their wing, so to speak, I think it's a great opportunity for the 49ers and to really see what they're made out of. They know what they did last year. The league knows what they did last year. The fan bases definitely know what they did last year. I don't think we saw the true 49ers. I think we saw a team limp to where they needed to get for 6 wins, and some of those were borderline losses. Yeah. I really do believe the pressure is put on Purdy for that record being the way it was, and I disagree with it entirely. I think that he had the highest EPA. He had one of the highest QBR ratings that he had in the last year. I think that it's easy to blame the quarterback in a system to where during the big games and the big moments, is it a quarterback issue? Is it a head coaching staff issue? Is it a health issue? Or is it all the pieces combined? It's really easy to point fingers at one guy, especially when you're not even doing anything and you're not even a part of it.
Oh, quarterback's the easiest guy to blame. We see it all the time here in Philadelphia. When we're winning in Philly, it's, you got AJ Brown, you got Saquon, you got Smitty. When we lose, well, Jalen Hurts has never been able to hit passes. He can't throw the ball. He's not very good. So I understand that Brock Purdy gets an unnecessary amount of hate. I get it. And I hate the term system quarterback. Everyone loves to say, oh, he's a system quarterback. Hey, guys, newsflash. Everybody's a system quarterback.
Everyone is a system quarterback. I want to explain.
You build your system around your quarterback. Do you think Andy Reid's system is not built for Patrick Mahomes to succeed?
You get a playbook from every team. That playbook literally teaches you the system and how to play the position for your team. That is exactly why people think a system quarterback is relied upon how good the team is around them. That's not true. They still get the ball in their hands. They can control the momentum of the game, and they know when, how, and where to put the ball. If they're a good quarterback, they will succeed under pressure in clutch moments. which Brock Purdy has done. He's trailed 22 games in his career already, and he's come back for wins. He's the only rookie quarterback to beat Tom Brady ever. And he's also one of the highest QBR rating quarterbacks in the season of 2023. I think there's a lot of interesting things that you could look at. He came off of a tear in his shoulder on his right arm, and he came back and went to the Super Bowl. And he was leading until they went into overtime. That has a lot to do with the defensive side of the ball and not necessarily the offensive side of the ball. I think the window for the 49ers is definitely not an easy thing to say that it's just closed. I think there's too much talent on the roster, and I think based off our schedule, we have the easiest schedule in the NFL. You think that they're not going to
definitely benefits San Francisco.
It benefits 100%. It would benefit any team, right? We were supposed to go to the Super Bowl last year. We were favored, and we didn't. And that's okay. Things happen. Injuries happen. Players don't want to play. There's attitudes. People get frustrated when you're losing. However, when you start,
hey, Washington fans, get ready. It's
exactly
as soon as y'all start losing, I promise it's coming.
Exactly. Look at Brandon Ayuk, right? There's a little bit of drama going on there, inside and outside of the locker room, on X, everything like that, right? People seeing these things. I still think we have a good wide receiver core. I don't think it's elite.
Yeah, I mean, we look at it, right? You got Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, and Ricky Parcells right now as the
Jacob
leading guys.
Cowan too. He's not a slump either.
And D-Rob. D-Rob's done some really good things while he was with the Rams. You got George Kittle, who in my opinion is the best tight end playing football right now. Yes, I have him over Travis Kelce. I've had him over Travis Kelce, by the way, for the last 2 years. So just if you're going to say, oh, you only have him because Travis Kelce's old, I've had him over Travis Kelce for the last 2 or 3 years. So you got George Kittle. You got Ricky Parcell, who is primed to take that next step. Juwan Jennings is an older guy that's been around. He's reliable. If Brandon Ayuk can get his stuff together, get healthy, he's a good downfield threat. Like you said, Jacob Cowing's a young guy that's coming up. And then you got Demarcus Robinson, who has played substantial snaps with a guy like Matthew Stafford. So he's been in big moments. When you look at this receiving room, you're not looking at it like you look at the Eagles or like you look at Cincinnati. You're not like, oh, wow, like you got guys everywhere.
I mean, even the Cowboys now with Pick and CeeDee Lamb.
Right. So, like, yes, it's a middle of the road receiving room, but guys, teams have won Super Bowls. Look at when Patrick Mahomes beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl a few years ago. Go look at that receiving room. That was not a receiving room that stood out to everyone where you were like, wow, look at all these guys. And that's why Patrick Mahomes is, heralded the way that he is. He got it done with who he had. And who did he have there? He had Martez Scantling. He had I think he had
Tyreek.
No, he didn't even have Tyreek. This was after that.
Tyreek's second, or Patrick Mahomes' second year with Tyreek.
Yeah, this was the year they beat us in the Super Bowl. He didn't have a great receiver.
You're talking about that year. Yeah.
Yeah, they did not have a great receiving room. So it's possible to be a successful team without a receiving room. And I like to bring up this point, like I talked about this earlier on TikTok, is just because your quarterback is performing poorly or even greatly. Look at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had an incredible statistic year a year ago. Dude was incredible. Where was he come January? Where was he come February? He was on the couch, because it takes more than just your quarterback playing well for your team to go deep in the playoffs. It's a team sport. Everybody's got to play well. And
here's a prime example. A prime example of that, and that's a great point, by the way, Sunshine, is that you have literally Jalen Hurts statistically across ESPN and NFL as ranked 18th in QB in all stats. And not saying that he's actually 18th. I have him higher than that, just strictly as the talent that he can provide for his team. Okay. I put, Jalen Hurts in the top 10 conversation for sure, but he's ranked 18th in the league, right? So you have that compared to Joe Burrow.
We're talking pure passing numbers, right? Like as a pure
passing numbers. So you have Joe Burrow with just under that 5,000 threshold, and then you have Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts got a bowl. Yeah. So where are you pointing fingers? And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the team or that one player does. It's proven that a quarterback doesn't have to be a Joe Burrow. It doesn't have to be Joe Montana or a Tom Brady to win Super Bowls. Like you can
100%.
You can put someone in that's going to make sense for your players. There's a reason that they relied so much on the run game and the defensive side of Philadelphia. Philadelphia was a shutdown team completely last year. They did a great job, and they didn't need to do anything different. They didn't need to be a Joe Burrow.
I wish people would talk about this more. We had one of the best defensive performances we have seen in this era. Okay. And you had a running back that was getting whatever he wanted against whoever he wanted. So why would you throw the foot? Like, I get it. We need to be better at throwing the football this season. If the Eagles want to go back to back and do all that kind of stuff, we have to be better than 28th. That's not going to cut it. But a year ago, if you're an offensive coordinator in the NFL and you want to get paid those big bucks and your running back is going for 5.3 yards per carry a clip, why on, and Saquon, by the way, was, I believe, at 6.2 at one point. Why on earth would you as an offensive coordinator say, you know what we should do? We should throw the ball. Why? You got a dude that's getting it done. Because why? Because Joe Smo on TikTok said that Jalen Hurts needs to throw more so he can see him as an elite quarterback. Hey, Joe, keep your stats. We'll take chips.
You never need to reinvent the wheel if something is working. 100%. If something is formidable and something is consistent, and there's other teams that are watching these tapes, they have the players' locker room meetings, they sit down in the theater room, they watch what their opponent is doing, and they're still incapable of stopping someone that has the talent to push the ball down the hash marks, man. I'm telling you right now that we will probably not see a 2000 season next year from Saquon, but we're going to see a very high volume carry push down the field offense with Saquon. I really truly believe he's going to break 1,500.
Yeah,
Vegas
I got him in that 15-18 range.
Vegas has him going for 1,600 and over. So,
well, you know, when we look at it, man, I think that I couldn't agree with you more. Just to say that someone's window's closed as it pertains to the 49ers is a little crazy to me, especially with how much success, as you see at the ticker, how much success they've had since 2019 in terms of playing and competing for championships. Now, don't get me wrong, we need to start winning some of those, but like, you could be in Pittsburgh's boat where you make the playoffs every year, but you never make it past the divisional round.
Well, go ahead. The thing really quick with that I wanted to mention is, like, let's look at all the players that are coming back healthy. The most dominant running back besides Saquon and Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, one of the best hands in the game as a running back, one of the best blocking running backs in the league.
Oh, he's a top 3 running back.
He's in there. He's in there for the conversation. He's coming back healthy.
You can put him at
Isaac Guerrero, the fastest running back in the league. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have people that are going to step in. They're going to ball out this year. You have a healthy Kittle. He's not dealing with his rib injury anymore and his shoulder injury. You know, you have Ricky Pearsall that got injured earlier for reasons that we all already know, and he came back. He played. He balled out in a few of those games. He's going to be a great wide receiver 3. You have Juwan Jennings that will literally jump over you and get that ball. Very similar play style as A.J. Brown and CeeDee Lamb. Not as good yet, but I do see a lot
hasn't had the production similar play style.
Correct. Definitely hasn't had the production and a defense. You got Robert back as the defensive coordinator, in my opinion, the best defensive coordinator in the league. That man is a savage, and he's going to put together an insane defense.
The best defensive coordinator in the league is in Philadelphia. But no, I'm just playing.
Maybe last year, okay. But I'm telling you, Fred Warner is going to lead that team. Nick Bosa, by the way, this is the biggest takeaway defensively for the 49ers, is that Nick Bosa has not been drafted a new defensive lineman to help him out on the other side of the ball since
Mikael Williams.
Now we have Mikael Williams. So you tell me you're going to stop a 6'7", 300-pound, just under 300-pound fridge that can run a 4.5 that has hands that are 13 inches across, and you're going to stop him? I don't think so. Not unless you're the offensive line of Philadelphia or the offensive line of the 49ers. There's no way. There's no way you're stopping him. You got 2 huge guys on both sides of the ball, and then in the interior you have great new rookies and brand new trade, and then you have Fred Warner right up the middle, the scout, the pass, or the run. There's no way. Come on.
Very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. I am excited for everyone in the NFL. I'm very excited to prove a lot of people wrong as a 49er fan to see the success that they have. And I genuinely, and I mean this wholeheartedly, I love when people think that we're not going to do good this year, because with our schedule, with the coaching staff, with the healthy players back, and who we picked up in the draft, I can see a team easily making it to the playoffs. Vegas has us going 12-5. I have them going 11-6. I think it's an easy team to get into the wild card spot, if not possibly the first seed in the NFC West.
Very exciting stuff. The 49ers window not quite closed yet.